Hello and welcome to our UMBC-Shady Grove undergraduate information session. My name is Abby Granger. I'm a coordinator down here at UMBC-Shady Grove, and I'll be walking you through our presentation today. Really quickly, I want to introduce you to our UMBC peer advisory team. So you'll see me a lot out at the community colleges and at all of our events along with these folks. They're current students who are here to help you get a sense of the UMBC-Shady Grove community and welcome you as you think about becoming a student here at UMBC. So hopefully you'll get a chance to meet them and me coming up at some of our events. So again, my name is Abby Granger. I am coordinator of undergraduate recruitment and advising here at UMBC-Shady Grove. My contact information can be found here on the screen. My email address is argranger@umbc.edu, and my phone number here is 301-738-6281. Feel free to reach out at any point if you have questions about any of the content that we review today, or if you'd like to set up a pre-transfer advising appointment. And the link actually to my pre-transfer advising appointment calendar can be found here on the screen. I also just want to mention that my colleague, Chelsea Moyer, who's Assistant Director of Undergraduate Recruitment and Retention, some of you might be interacting with her a bit if you're in the R2R program, which we'll also talk about later, or if you stop by, you might see Chelsea around the UMBC wing when you come in to meet with me. So we just want to make sure you know both of us are available and here to help you transition to UMBC-Shady Grove. So what are we going to talk about today? So our agenda, first thing we're going to do is we're going to sort of talk about the universities at Shady Grove as a whole and what our community here looks like. And then we'll talk a little bit specifically about UMBC at Shady Grove, so the institutional side of what we do here at Shady Grove. We'll talk about what you need to do to prepare for transfer. We'll talk about our transfer access programs, TSA and R2R. We'll talk a little bit about the application process and the deadlines that are associated. I'll briefly give you some screenshots and an overview of the Common App. And then finally, we'll talk about financial aid and scholarships. Very important for a lot of our students. That's what we will run through today. And at the end, I'll show you the website where you can go to find out more about the different events and activities that we have here at UMBC-Shady Grove that are opportunities for you to touch base with us. So the universities at Shady Grove, we're a really unique place. We share our campus here in Rockville with 8 other system schools. So there are 9 of us here together sharing resources. We do consider ourselves a full service campus. What does that mean? That means that you have all of the services here at the universities at Shady Grove that you would find on our main campuses. You have a library, you have a counseling center, you have career services, you have food options. So that's what we mean when we say we consider ourselves a full service campus. The campus as a whole caters to transfer students. We only have transfer students here at USG, so that really gives us an opportunity to focus on the needs that are unique to the transfer population. The 9 system schools, this model really works here, and we don't have any repeat programs among our institutions. So if UMBC offers psychology, for example, which we do here at USG, there are no other schools here at USG that offer psychology. So that's really important to remember when you're looking for different programs and at Shady Grove. You're not going to find any duplicate programs among the institutions that are here. Something that makes us really unique is the opportunity for students to participate in course sharing. Because we share the campus here in Rockville with 8 other schools, we make an effort to develop partnerships with those schools, and part of that is having courses that students from other institutions can take. So for example, if you're interested in criminal justice, there's some courses that College Park offers in the criminal justice field that UMBC students are allowed to enroll in, and vice versa. So it's a really unique opportunity to get some courses in an area where you wouldn't otherwise. And it's a really great opportunity to meet students from other institutions and develop that network. Another thing that makes the universities at Shady Grove very unique is our scholarship opportunities, which we'll talk more about later. But just really quickly, USG does have a scholarship pool that's specifically for the students here at the universities at Shady Grove, and it's only for the students here at USG. So that's something, it's a really unique pot of money that's really helpful to a lot of our students, and we'll talk more about how you apply for that scholarship pool a little bit later. So UMBC at the universities of Shady Grove. So what's, what is UMBC's role here at USG? We offer 5 undergraduate programs, and we'll talk about those later. The students who come to UMBC here at Shady Grove graduate with a true UMBC degree. There's no difference between the degree that our students are getting here at UMBC-Shady Grove and the diplomas that our students are getting on main campus. It's the same curriculum, same courses, and oftentimes we have faculty who will actually teach at both locations. So the education you're getting here at UMBC-Shady Grove is the same that all of our students are getting on Shady Grove and at main campus. We do consider ourselves an honors university. What does that mean? It means that we feel strongly that undergraduate students should have the opportunity to have applied learning experiences and research opportunities. So that's something that a lot of institutions feel should be reserved for graduate students. We feel very strongly that everyone should be involved in the applied learning and research opportunities that we have here. So that's something that makes us particularly unique as an institution. Predominantly, our courses are offered during the day and in person. Something that is really special about the Shady Grove campus in particular is that we have a very small class size. Our ratio of students to faculty is about 18:1. And the average age of our student is about 28 years old. And we sort of talk about that metric as something that indicates we have a really diverse range of students here. So we have students who are at various points in their career, various points in their education, and we think it's just a good way to sort of represent that we have a wide variety of students here at UMBC-Shady Grove. So what are the 5 bachelor programs that UMBC offers here at Shady Grove? We have history, political science, psychology, social work, and translational life science technology. So those are the 5 majors that UMBC offers at Shady Grove. We also offer a few master's programs, and you'll see those listed here: cybersecurity, industrial organizational psychology, technical management, data science, and biotechnology. So as you think about your time here at UMBC-Shady Grove as an undergraduate, you might just want to keep in mind, depending on what you're interested in, that we do also offer master's programs here. So what do you need to do to prepare yourself for transfer to UMBC-Shady Grove? So we encourage our students who are interested in transferring to UMBC-Shady Grove to have at least 45 credits completed prior to transfer. So our model here at UMBC-Shady Grove is that we offer the junior and senior years of all of the majors that we have, which is why it's so important that you do have at least 45 credits completed prior to transfer. And we'll talk a little bit more later about how you determine what those credits should be, because we do have a couple of specific classes that we would like you to have. Most of our students are coming from a Maryland community college. We do really encourage you to complete your associate's degree prior to transfer. It's not required, but we do believe there is benefit in having that associate's degree, and we can talk more depending on your situation. There might be some specific benefits for you. I do encourage you to continue on and finish out your education at your community college or the institution where you're coming from. Again, all of our undergraduate courses here are upper level. The junior and senior years are what we offer, 300 and 400. We typically do not offer the lower level courses. So that's why it's so important that you get those 45 credits in. And that's why it's so important for you to come in for some pre-transfer advising with me prior to transfer. And we can talk a little bit more about how you do that later. So on our website, on our programmatic websites, we have pathways documents that outline the courses that we recommend you have and the credits that we recommend you have prior to transfer. So some of those courses you'll notice in those pathways documents have asterisks on them or stars. Those are the courses we strongly recommend that you have prior to transfer. The courses that don't have stars, we recommend that you have, but the courses with stars are the courses we really want you to focus on. My role here at UMBC-Shady Grove is to help you determine where you stand with previous coursework, and if you're ready to transfer, and if not, what courses you would need. So please come see me to work through those pathways documents with you. Please don't try to do that on your own. I'm happy to help you figure out if you have the recommended courses that we encourage our students to have. So when we talk about transfer, oftentimes you'll hear ArtSys as a really great resource for students, and it is. So the website for ArtSys is here. ArtSys outlines how courses typically transfer from Maryland community colleges to UMBC. So as I work with you to determine if you have the recommended courses that you need prior to transfer, we will work through ArtSys to sort of make that determination. One of the other sort of important rules that we do have when you're transferring into UMBC is that the maximum number of credits you can bring in from a two-year institution or a community college, which is where most of our students are coming from, is 60 credits. So for most of you, the maximum number of credits you're going to be bringing in from your community college is 60. If you're coming in from another four-year institution, the limit is a little bit higher. It's 90. So when we meet together, I can talk about which limit you and what that means for your time here at UMBC-Shady Grove. But this is just a policy we like to make sure everyone is aware of as you prepare to transfer. We do have two transfer access programs. Is not an obligation to UMBC. What transfer access means is that students who are not quite ready for transfer yet, you might be, typically students are about a year or 2 years away from transferring to UMBC, so you're still in your Maryland community college, but you know you're interested in UMBC. Our transfer access programs are a good way to sort of get oriented with UMBC as an institution and get to know us as staff members. So one of the programs that we have is called the Transfer Student Alliance, or TSA. TSA is a really great program for students who currently have at their community college above a 3.0 or higher. And between, I believe it's 12 and 35 credits, you are eligible to apply for TSA. And TSA, every year we have different events, you get invited to special transfer events for students. Again, it's not an obligation to UMBC, it's just a way for us to get connected with you prior to transfer. So if you apply to TSA right now as a community college student and you are admitted to TSA, once you decide it's time to transfer to UMBC, if you've maintained a 3.5 or higher, and if you've obtained associate's degree, you might be eligible for the TSA scholarship once you do apply to UMBC. And you also you do still have to apply to UMBC. So even if you are admitted into TSA, when the time comes, you do still have to fill out the UMBC application, but you get that $75 application fee waived, which is another nice benefit. If you have a 3.0 or higher and you're currently enrolled at a community college and you intend to complete an associate's, I'd strongly encourage you to review the information about TSA on the TSA website and apply if you fit the criteria. Because if you transfer with the associates and with a 3.5 or higher, you'll be eligible for the scholarship that comes along with TSA. So if you have any questions about this, please reach out to me and we can work together to decide if you're eligible and if it would be a good option for you. The other program that we have that is specific to UMBC and Montgomery College, so our students coming from MC, is Raptor to Retriever, or R to R. So for students who are at Montgomery College who are interested in transferring to UMBC-Shady Grove, this is a really great opportunity to get to know Chelsea Moyer, who's one of our assistant directors here at UMBC-Shady Grove, and to get some pre-transfer advising in. You'll have the opportunity to participate in some R to R workshops. You'll get to know the students here at UMBC-Shady Grove. So this is just a really great program that, again, it's not an obligation. It just gives you access to UMBC and sort of formalizes that relationship a little bit so that when you do decide you're ready to apply and transfer, you have your feet under you here. You know a few people, you know some students, you know your fellow R to R participants. So the program is intended for students with a 2.0 or higher, and we encourage students to apply to R to R only if they have at least a year left at MC. So typically we want students with 30 or fewer credits to apply to R to R. And if you're admitted to R to R, Chelsea Moyer will work with you to develop a success plan, to go through pre-transfer advising with you to make sure you're on the right track taking courses. And we do offer special workshops for R to R students. And the benefit when you decide to apply to UMBC and attend UMBC, you will get an application fee waiver. So when you fill out the application, when you're ready to transfer, you fill out that application, there's a special R to R waiver, so you don't have to pay that application fee, which is a really great benefit. So our application deadline. So when you actually come to apply to UMBC, what are the dates that you need to keep in mind? And these dates are the same every year. So no matter what semester you're thinking about applying, you can pencil these dates into your calendar and they'll be correct. So if you're interested in coming in a fall semester, if you apply by March 1st, you'll be considered for our institutional-based scholarships. You don't have to do anything extra to be considered for UMBC scholarships. You just have to apply by March 1st, which is our priority deadline for the fall semester. The final deadline for the fall semester is June 1st. For spring semesters, our priority deadline is October 15th. So again, if you would like to be admitted for spring and if you would like to be considered for the UMBC institutional scholarships, please get your application in by October 15th. The final deadline for spring admission is December 1st. So these are just some really important dates. Again, they don't change from year to year, so pencil them in to make sure, especially if you can truly get those applications in by the priority deadline. That's what's going to get you full scholarship consideration for UMBC. You don't have to do anything extra, just apply by the priority deadlines. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to, possibly be in the pool for our institutional scholarships. So what is the application process? So we've talked about our deadlines. What do you actually have to do by March 1st and October 15th? Well, the first thing you need to do is complete the Common App, and we'll talk more about that later. When you create your account at Common App, we want to make sure you identify yourself as a transfer applicant. And we'll talk more about what's in the application itself, but within the application, you're going to find a lot of different questions. Some of the most common concerns that students have are about the writing supplement. We do require a writing supplement, and we'll look at that a little bit later. We do not require recommendations. So if you have some letters of recommendation or have some folks who are interested in submitting recommendations for you, you have the opportunity to do that, but you're not required to do so. So that's a little bit about the common application for transfer students. You will have to get rolling on that. Within the application, there are also some residency questions embedded in the application. We want to make sure you finish those questions up too, especially if you hope to be identified as an in-state student for tuition purposes. After you complete the application, you'll be prompted to submit it. and you will be asked for a $75 application fee. As I mentioned earlier, students who are in our TSA or R2R transfer access program are eligible for a waiver, or if you're a member of PTK, you're also eligible for a waiver. Unless you fall into any of those groups, you will be prompted to submit that $75 application fee. After you submit the application, we will need official transcripts from every college or university or institution you've previously attended. So have those transcripts, official transcripts, sent directly from whatever institutions it is you've attended previously to UMBC's Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Mailing address can be found here. admissions@umbc.edu is the email address. UMBC Office of Undergraduate Admissions, 1000 Hilltop Circle, Baltimore, Maryland, 21250 is the mailing address. So once you submit the application, go ahead and request that official transcripts from each institution you've attended be sent over to UMBC. Once we have your application on file and once all of your transcripts have been received, it typically takes about 4 to 6 weeks to receive a decision. You are able to check your application status through your MyUMBC account during that time frame. You should receive an email about setting up your UMBC account about a week or so after you apply. So now let's talk a little bit about the Common App itself. So Common App, you can get there directly by commonapp.org, or you can get there through our website. So once you get to the Common App website and you click on the Apply Now button, it'll open this screen that you see here, and it'll prompt you to create an account. And the first thing you want to make sure of is that you're identified as a transfer student. You're creating an account as a transfer student, not as a first-year student. Because, like I said, we only offer the junior, senior year, so all of our students who are applying should have at least 45 or so credits, which makes you a transfer student, not a freshman applicant. So go ahead and create an account. And then once you create an account, you're going to come to the main screen that has the 4 tabs at the top that you'll see once you log in. The first thing I want you to do after you create your account and get to the main screen is actually go ahead and add UMBC as the institution that you want to apply to. So under the Add Program tab, go ahead and search for our full name, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and it'll bring up the various applications that we have. And the difference between these entries is the term that you're interested in applying for. So please be mindful, if you're interested in a spring or a fall semester, please make sure you add the correct program, as they call it, with the correct term listed. So if you're interested in the fall semester, please select the program that says fall entry. If you're interested in spring, please select the program that says spring entry. So that's the first thing you want to do once you log into your Common App account. That's how Common App knows that you want to apply to UMBC, because there are hundreds of schools that use the Common App. So it's really important to first indicate to Common App that UMBC is the place that you're interested in applying to. So once you add UMBC as the school that you're interested in applying to, you can navigate back to the My Application screen and start working on the questions that are located in the 4 tiles that you see here. So under personal information, it asks you for a lot of your demographic information. Under academic history, it asks you about previous institutions and coursework that you've done. That's mostly supplemental documents, which are almost all optional. And then under program materials is where you'll find the UMBC specific questions. So that's why it's important that we had you indicate your interest in UMBC first, so that the questions under program materials populate appropriately as UMBC's questions. So as you move through the questions and as you complete these areas, you'll see the circles start to fill there. So you'll know a section is complete when the circle is completely full and the numbers underneath indicate that all of the sections are complete. So within the program materials tab, which is where the UMBC specific questions are located, there are just a couple of things we want to make you aware of. Under the questions tab, this is where you will indicate which major it is that you're interested in. And it will also ask you if you're interested in a second major. And a lot of students are not sure about a second major when they're initially applying. That's totally fine. If you don't want to have a second major, please just mark not interested. Or if you're not sure, we can add a second major later for you. So if you want to go ahead and mark not interested and come chat with us about it, that's fine. The important thing is that you indicate a primary major or area of study. Once you select the major that you're interested in, it will ask you, a question will pop up that will ask you which campus it is that you're interested in. So psychology, which is a program that is offered here at UMBC-Shady Grove, if you select psychology, it will then populate a question that asks you which campus it is that you'd like to attend to complete the psychology program. Again, if you are intending to come to UMBC-Shady Grove, please indicate that in that question. There's also a question in this section about the Honors College, the UMBC Honors College. It asks you if you'd like to apply. We do not offer the Honors College program here at UMBC-Shady Grove. So if you indicate yes to this question, you are going to be applying to a program on our main campus. So we just want students to be aware of that. If you're not interested in applying to the Honors College and or going up to main campus, please mark this question as no. So under the recommendations tab within the section that's specific to UMBC, you are able, this is where you could potentially upload or invite your recommenders to upload documents or recommendations on your behalf. Again, you're not required to do so. You may indicate that you are not adding any recommendations. That's entirely up to you. We do not require those letters. Under the Documents tab, you'll also have the opportunity to upload any other documents that you'd like us to review. If you don't have any additional documents that you're interested in us reviewing, you are able to scroll down and indicate that you're not going to be adding any other documents. So under the Documents and the Recommendation tab, both of those areas are completely optional. So truly, it's in this section, we want you to focus on the Questions tab. And if you would like to submit other things, please do so, but it is not required. After you've completed all of those questions in the My Application tab, this area should allow you, the Submit Application tab at the top should allow you to go ahead and review your application and then submit it. And this is also where you'll pay the $75 application fee. So once you submit your application, you should receive a confirmation from Common App within 24 hours. So that was a little bit about Common App. You know, please, we do have some events, and we'll talk about this later. If you have questions or concerns about Common App, we have some events that you can attend, so we'll talk about at the end. But that was just a quick overview of the Common App. So financial aid and scholarship. You transition to becoming a UMBC student, we encourage our students to apply for FAFSA if you're eligible. The UMBC FAFSA code can be seen here, the 002105. So if you're filling out FAFSA, you apply and you're admitted to UMBC, please go ahead and make sure your FAFSA code is updated. And if you're not applying for FAFSA, but you are eligible, I would encourage you to go ahead and do so. We also have, as I mentioned earlier, we have a scholarship pool that's specific to Shady Grove students, so the students here at the Shady Grove campus. It is open to all students from all of the institutions here at Shady Grove, but it's only open to Shady Grove students. So the website can be found here on the screen. And this scholarship pool has dozens and dozens of scholarships that are within that one pool. But we condensed it all together and created one application for students to fill out. Based on that one application, the staff here at USG will determine which scholarships you are eligible for and put you in the pool to be considered for those scholarships. So it's a great opportunity. It's one application, and you get put in the running for all the different scholarships that you would be eligible for that are administered through the Shady Grove Scholarship Fund here. So the scholarship is a separate application for USG. So please keep in mind that this is something that when you apply to UMBC, you can go ahead and apply to the scholarship pool, even if you don't know if you've been admitted to UMBC yet. Go ahead and apply to the scholarship fund. And also, again, just a reminder that if you apply by the UMBC priority deadline, if you submit your UMBC application by the priority deadline, you're automatically considered for UMBC's institutional scholarship. So those are two scholarship pools, the USG scholarship pool and the UMBC scholarship pool. They're relatively easy to get in the running for. So complete that USG application once you've applied to UMBC, and make sure you get your UMBC application in by the priority deadline to be considered for institutional scholarships. So we talked a little bit more earlier opportunities to come visit with us. We do have what we call undergraduate program director visits, where you can come and meet in a small group setting with the program director of the major that you're interested in. So the website for those visits where the dates can be found is here on the screen. We also have the program director emails listed out here if you'd like to touch base directly with one of the program directors. I've also referenced pre-transfer advising. So the link to my pre-transfer advising calendar is here on the screen. So if you'd like to set up a pre-transfer advising appointment to determine if you're ready for transfer, or if you have any questions, please feel free to visit this website and set up an appointment with me. So I really appreciate you joining us today. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions about the UMBC community or the application or your previous coursework. I'm happy to help you navigate that transition to UMBC-Shady Grove, and we really look forward to seeing you at one of our events, and we look forward to you joining us as a UMBC-Shady Grove student.